the sound is back. All right. Seriously. So we're going to just start this over. Hello, good evening. I'm Cherie.
And I'm Chris.
And we're Technomadia. And we have been full-time nomads since 2006.
13-ish years in all sorts of different ways of being nomadic. Right now, we have a fleet.
Yes. So behind us is our van conversion, Copernicus, the newest addition to the fleet.
We have just left behind our boat Why Not, which has been our primary home for 2.5 years.
And yes, and then in 2011, we got a vintage bus conversion. That was our full-time home since then, up until we got the boat. So our intention is we're slowly doing the Great Loop on the boat. And when it gets too cold for winters, we're theoretically going to store the boat and then move aboard back to the vintage bus. We got the van to use as a comfortable shuttlecraft to go in between the two. That's not exactly how it's been turning out lately, though.
No, but it actually might be all falling into place right now because we are on our way from the boat to the bus by way of the van. And it just wasn't quite how we intended it because, there's this hurricane evacuation that threw into the mix that kind of changed our schedule around. And a few weeks ago, we would not have been imagining that we were about to leave our boat and not go back to it for 5-6 months.
Yep.
Okay, so that's high level. What's up?
So that's the big scope. But how did we get to this decision? So we've been cruising this summer season, and we knew that some stuff was up medically was with my mom. So we intentionally didn't go that far north this season, but we went far enough north that we knew we could easily get back to her if things didn't go as her diagnosis came back. And it did back in August.
Yeah, so we'd gone as far north as Charleston. Those of you who've only been following the travelogue videos showed us just getting to Savannah. They're a little bit behind. We went to Charleston, then back to Savannah, then this road trip for medical reasons to Florida, and then a hurricane happened.
Yeah, so as soon as we got my mom's stuff situated, and she's doing well. Thank you very much for those who have written and asked. She's doing well. We get back to Savannah, and Dorian is now making a beeline. The paths are all coming right to Savannah, and the boatyard that we're at, it's a marina/boatyard. They made the decision that they're going to haul all boats. So it was either we had to find other arrangements or be hauled. That was our decision.
Which is, it is reassuring to have your boat out of the water for a hurricane. But so we got back to Savannah and immediately had to switch. We had to have 1 day, 2 days to relax, and then immediately had to
Not even relax because they're doing boat projects while we're on there trying to relax.
Boat projects and also watching the storm, thinking, is it heading our way? The boatyard gives us the thing of, hey, tomorrow we're hauling you out of the water. And this boatyard does not allow you to live in your boat while you're on the hard. Some do. It's hard to live on the hard, though.
Especially in summer. Not doing that anyway.
Boat air conditioners don't work out of the water. So we're like, okay, hey, we have a van for this very reason. So
we evacuated by a van. We went inland to George Smith State Park, which was amazing. Some of the footage you saw at the beginning was from that.
It was the perfect place to brace and wait out the storm because it was just so tranquil and beautiful, and we could look at the rainbows and the beautiful cypress trees and stuff. And every time it kept us from obsessively checking the weather forecast. But fortunately, Dorian veered and hit the Bahamas, heartbreakingly awful.
And north of us too, but Savannah or the Georgia coast and the Florida coast
basically just had some tropical storm winds.
My mother actually figured out how to use YouTube, and she's actually in the chat room. Well done, Mom.
Hey, Mom. She's doing better with tech tonight than we are. Okay. I'm not, green bar's still there. I'm not touching this again. Don't want to accidentally mute.
So anyway, while we're waiting out Dorian, we stayed there for 4 nights at the state park, and it was relaxing as can be, considering you're worried about your family and your other home. But we came to a decision because with the boat being hauled out anyway, and we definitely need a bottom job. You should have seen the ecosystem underneath the boat when we hauled out.
I should have put that
that would have been a good picture to show. We knew that we basically, the artist had expectations. Let's handle all of the things on our list that were going to need to be done on the hard while we're pulled out anyway. So that meant we would not be able to return to the boat probably for a month.
We didn't want to rush them or anything, and they still had to undo all the hurricane preps they'd done. So we're like, okay, this is good. We could stay out of the water for the rest of hurricane season, maybe meander around the southeast a bit, and then get back to the boat, do a little bit of cruising, and then, in the winter season we wanted to go back to our bus anyway. Why don't we just change all that schedule and just do it now.
So we checked in with the boatyard, and they have availability to store us. So we made the decision to leave them a boat project list. They're going to decide. We told them, my only request is do not put us back in the water until after peak of hurricane season. I just don't want to worry about it. But I know that if something happened, they would pull. And then just work on our project list. And we're now RV based until we're not planning our return to boat life until next February.
Wow.
So 6 months in an RV now.
Yeah, and part of what made us make this decision was when we spent those 4 days in Copernicus and the trip down to Florida in Copernicus, we're like, this van is really comfy. And we started tackling the little projects to make it more comfortable and more livable for us. And we actually tackled a whole bunch of them just once we decided that, okay, we really are going to be spending a lot of time in this van in the near future. Let's tackle some key things. And it's starting to click. We're really comfy in the van.
So the bus is still in storage in Austin, Texas. So we are generally making our way towards Austin. Let me just bring up the map of how we're going to get there, though. Okay. Not exactly the direct way. There we go.
There we are.
So we are... what are you doing?
I'm looking over the map.
You're looking down at the map. Okay, yeah. So there we go. So we're going to... we're currently in North Georgia. We're near Augusta right now. And we're going to go visit some friends along the way and make our way to St. Louis, where his parents are still ending up their summer season.
We're doing the Villes: Asheville, Knoxville, Nashville, St. Louisville, right?
Yeah, your parents need to move to a Ville.
Okay.
We're doing the Ville tour.
Yes, the Ville tour. And then down to Texas. Hopefully that gives enough time for Texas to cool off slightly.
A little bit. Well, we work on the bus. The bus is gonna need some work. She's been in storage now for 1.5 years, which is much longer than we anticipated when we set up this adventure.
And the storage unit had a power failure that led to the batteries going into their emergency shutdown mode. So we don't know 100% whether the batteries will be alive once we undo their emergency shutdown, because it was in a sealed, enclosed, but powered storage. We know there's a lot of cobwebs, and
we know my mom has been out to Austin. That's where my brother lives. That's why we stored there. My mom's actually gone out and looked at. Get that off our faces. My mom has gone out there, and it reports that the refrigerator was starting to get moldy and stuff like that because there's been no power to it. So, we'll have some cleanup. Zephyr was already due for new tires. It was already at the 6 to 7 year mark. So. We definitely don't feel like we can go very far at all without new tires.
And actually, shortly before we put Zephyr in storage, there was the muffler split open and cracked. So we need a muffler shop to weld the muffler and or replace the muffler. And then just the regular maintenance a bus needs every few years. So we're planning the chassis and all that.
Planning to be in Austin for at least a couple weeks. We'll see. We still need to line up. Shops to do all this at, and my brother lives out there, so we'll get to see him, and we'll get Zephyr back to roadworthy, and then at that point, we bought that co-op lot out in Benson, Arizona, so that's the goal. So we're doing a side trip out to Galveston, though, the full-time Freedom Week. If you didn't join in for that last year, it's a free virtual summit. We're participating in it again this year.
Because now they're having part of it being a in-person summit. So it sounds like fun. We love the people who are doing it, and we had fun doing the virtual summit. And so let's go hang out, because it just happened to line up with us to go run out to Galveston.
Yep, and then we'll start heading out to our lot in Benson, Arizona, and we're not making commitments at this point. I know Curtis is on the chat too, but we are putting intentions towards doing the Escapers Annual Bash. Some of the other cast from the RVers TV show is going to be there, so it'd be fun to do that, and of course check in with the Escapers. We helped found that group. And then get the bus in storage out in Arizona at our storage lot, or our co-op lot, and then get back
for our village rally in February before returning to the boat.
Yep. So don't put us on the schedule yet, please. But
that's our plan.
That is the intention, not the plan. No plans.
Yes. Okay. No plans. No plans. Plans bad.
Yeah. So we're looking forward to meandering around. We'll be hopscotch, basically caravanning the bus and the van.
Yes. Once we get the two vehicles together, I'm probably going to be the bus driver, and Cherie will be darting around in the van, and we will have a extra whole house with us. So we'll have two houses mobile at once, which will be kind of fun.
And trying to convince campgrounds we stay at that the van is just a van, because we're not living in it at that time. So hopefully that goes well.
It's our get around vehicle, because it will be. I don't anticipate having issues with that, but you never know. If we run into a bizarre campground, we'll just tell them to shove it.
We already know our co-op allows conversion vans if it is your daily driver.
Yep.
If it as a to be parked as a second RV in your lot. So we know that's cool. So that's one reason we went conversion van, so that the RV lot. So that's the general plan. So yeah.
I forgot to show this photo here. This is us moving from the boat to the van while on the hard. It kind of gives you a sense of scale. It was kind of fun looking down from above into the big house, little house, but we love them both. And then for those who've not seen our bus, this is where we're heading to. That's our Zephyr. And we've missed her, and looking forward to getting the mothballs literally and the cobwebs cleared out.
Yes, and then we're really going to be looking at, over this next 6 months, just what it's like to try to move and maintain 3 different moving vessels, and if it's actually going to be practical long term to have 3. And that's going to be a tough decision to make if we don't.
Because we will see, because like once we get out west, even though we're getting more and more comfortable living in the van, you do want to stretch out and spread out a little bit.
Yeah, I was getting I was producing videos today, and I was just getting so cramped in there. So, but yeah.
On the other hand, one of the mods we just did was a monitor swing arm system, and then when I've now got this set up that I basically have a 4 monitor system, and it's actually probably the best workstation I've had.
A long time.
In years, and it's in this van, so I'm like, screen here, screen here, screen here, screen here, screen here, just surrounded by data. So it's actually a very effective work environment, but it is a lot of one person at a time
Yes.
could be at the table, and we'll share pictures of all that. We'll
We'll probably do some videos on the mods that we've been doing on the Travato to make it more workable and livable for extended. So we have actually been van based for a month now.
Wow,
we did
fast.
I know. We just stayed with my mom when we were down in Melbourne with her. So there was about a 2-week period where we weren't on the van specifically. But we have been full time in the van now 2 weeks as of yesterday. And
wow.
when we first got the van, remember we said we didn't know if we would be able to do much more than a few days at a time. And I think we're proving that it's definitely very comfortable extended.
Yeah. And it's been weird going back to using campground bathhouses and showers and stuff like that. That's, we gotten so spoiled with both the bus and the boat have big, wonderful showers. And it's like, okay, now we got to, put on flip-flops and walk a quarter mile and do all these other things. We're going back to our small RV days. It's just been
and we can shower and use the bathroom in the Travato, but it's very limited tank capacity. So, it's all about balance. Anyway, so that's kind of what's up for us. That's really all we had to say about it. But yeah, we just wanted to hang out. It's been a while since we've had a chance just to hang out and answer some questions for you guys. So feel free to queue up some questions for us. We'll be happy to talk about it.
Is that broadcasting show us Kiki is a request that's coming here.
To call her. Hey, Kiki.
I think we might need to go grab her.
Well, she's hunting. You're going to disturb her. Oh. She's back there tied.
Okay. I guess I could just lift this up. Kiki, hey, you've got fans who want to see you. Wait, bring them a lizard.
Kiki. Kikinator.
She's very intently focused on something in there. What did you catch? Is there a tail in your mouth? No. Hey, kitten.
So, Kiki definitely prefers RV life to boat life. Because she can be out here and stalk things and walk around, whereas this isn't as easy to do off the boat.
On a dock, there tends not to be bushes. I mean, more marinas can maybe put in some foliage and stuff on the docks, but it is definitely her preference to be out in nature.
And Elliot and Ann are here too. Hey guys, Elliot and Ann, we actually got to hang out with them before we did on this adventure. They live near Savannah. They actually stored Cooper for us.
And we stayed in their driveway for a couple of days while we did some of these projects.
Few days. We were there 5 days.
5 days. True, but it doesn't. Some of the days don't count because they weren't there, and they're not quite the same quality of days when they're not around.
Okay, so we had a question from Start the Rebellion. When does the RVers air?
Kiki is in her happy place.
Yes, Kiki's very happy.
From the crazy crowds. Hey guys.
So the RVers is debuting. I believe the date is November 23rd on the Discovery Channel, and then it's coming to PBS, iTunes, and a bunch of others. I think that they're staggered out over the next.
And we can't tell you what it is, but apparently there's going to be an announcement tomorrow or the next day.
I think Tuesday.
Tuesday from the RVers. So check their Facebook group. They're announcing something else, a new big twist for the show. So we're excited. The show is really taking off. It hasn't even aired yet.
Cool. Joe's also planning to go to our village rally. Well, that definitely up. Sabina and Eckert are going, and the glamping guys. It's going to be a fun time. I think, yeah, it's definitely a high priority. Peter and John are going to be there. Tom and Kate are going to be there from the RVers.
So our village rally next year is going to be on fire. There's going to be so much good stuff and so much good music. We're going to have the dueling piano versus alpenhorn. I think that is going to be
And the
insane.
glamping guys are going to be there, and Anthony Nally, the producer of the RVers, his band is coming and playing there every night. So
just imagine that jam session. That's going to be insane.
It's going to be insane.
Okay.
There's going to be no time to talk about RVs at this thing.
No, but our village rally is not about education. It's about community. So yeah, we love it.
Gary wanted to know, is the boat fare okay with Dorian? Yes, we had. Oh, you did find one
I found,
piece of damage.
Yes, one of the little rubber hoses that go to the windshield wiper washers, one of them blew loose. So there's that. We called the insurance company. They kind of laughed, but we're still going to pursue that claim.
No, we're not. You're crazy, dude.
Yeah, no way.
So Jacob wanted to know, how do we transport both the van and the boat? And we actually have a video out on this exact topic. And it stars our friends Sabina and Eckert. But we usually have very, very dear friends who either can help us with the transportation, or we find a way back to where we stored it at our last stop. It's actually proven not to be difficult at all.
Yeah. And I mean, if we were across the country, we would fly or take a train or something like that. But usually, our hops on the boat, we don't travel super far. So
right. So if we're cruising for a week or two, we've maybe gone 100 miles. That's not that difficult of a road trip at all. Whether we need to rent a car, whether we need to Uber, or have a friend who's willing to do one leg of the drive with us. So it has not been difficult at all. Let's see. Adria would like to know, no Tampa RV show this January, and we did the Tampa RV show last year when we were starting our boat shopping, and no RV show. We don't really like RV shows. They're too chaotic.
Yes, I mean, the Tampa show is one of the nice ones because it has every manufacturer for the most part there. So if you're shopping for an RV, the Tampa RV show is one of the ones to go to. If you're not shopping for an RV, if you're just looking for stuff,
it's not we don't like big crowds, so
not always, no.
And we're going to be doing enough smaller events that are already going to be tempting our introvert buttons. Okay.
Let's see. Bob is saying that our village rally will be their first rally as full-timers.
Oh, you're going too? Okay, well, we got to go.
More awesome people.
Our crew is going, so we have to go. So we actually have a virtual crew, and these are family friends and what we call our super fans, people that we've met through the YouTube channel or our blog, who have we've corresponded enough, or they've made kind contributions to our journey. So we do have a virtual crew. So a lot of folks who are on this are virtual crew.
Yeah, and the virtual crew is our safe space where we can talk about plans before they're final, or when we're just kind of batting them around. So when we were evacuating and thinking about, hey, maybe we do this, the virtual crew were the first to know, and now we're kind of coming out of the closet to all of YouTube.
Yep.
Okay, here we are.
Let's see.
Okay.
Linda says, ask any suggestions on a coastal cruiser length for 2 people.
Cruise length for 2 people, I'd say
anywhere between 10 feet and 400 feet is
400 feet would be pushing it.
Probably 65 is probably the max you want to go with 2 people.
Yeah, unless you're really experienced. As the boat gets bigger, your level of experience and also the cost and upkeep and maintenance and everything like that goes up. So if you're not going to have a captain on board, getting much beyond 50 feet starts to get, unless you really know what you're doing, gets more advanced.
So we started looking in the 38 to 42 foot range. We thought that would be ideal for us. We ended up with a 47, which is actually really 52. So go look at boats and see what it feels right for you and your experience level. Work with a good broker who understands your needs.
And a lot depends too, is what is your pace of travel going to be? Because we started thinking smaller boat because we thought we were going to be kind of doing the loop quickly. But once we decided that we're going to really spread this out over years, we wanted a floating condo with a lot of space to be comfortable and have it be our home. So we intentionally went larger because of that.
This question, does the Our Village Rally have informational workshops? And last year they did. I think they're planning some this time. I think we were talking with Curtis, and we helped found Our Village, so it's very near and dear to our hearts. is last year there was a lot of informational seminars, and this year they're going to step it back a little bit and focus more on community, which is what our village is really all about.
Right.
It's we loved it because it's got more about the social interactions and smaller gatherings and larger gatherings and the music and stuff like that, and it's less presentations because after a while some of us get tired of presentations.
And to also a lot of the presenters, the educational sessions at so many rallies are vendors presenting their own product, which is not a bad thing, but it's also it's the same presentations at every rally you go to from the same vendors, and they tend to be very focused on their product as opposed to the bigger picture.
Right.
So
It's hard to get vendors who are just giving informational content because these rallies don't tend to have much of a budget to pay speakers just to come in and speak if they don't have an incentive to speak. So
right.
So we get tired of being presenters at them because people assume we're there to sell them stuff, and we're just there to share.
That's true.
So
Right.
if people say, well, oh, you're talking about lithium batteries, you must be selling them. Like,
No, please stop trying to buy things from us. Okay, what else we got here? Yes, Gary asked, are we storing Why Not on the hard? Yes, Why Not is
Yes.
staying
Yep.
out of the water, hopefully most of the time while we're gone. They may back in before we get back. Somebody saw Sasquatch walking in the woods behind us.
Oh, okay.
I think that was our cat, but...
Or maybe they're making us dinner. That would be nice.
Oh, yeah, we haven't had dinner yet,
Yes,
so
we
that's
still need
after
to figure
this.
out dinner tonight.
But if you are recording this on YouTube and we get a Sasquatch sighting, I mean, think of all the hits we'll get. Nice.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh, somebody recognized where we're at. I guess that's okay to reveal this.
Yeah, we're at, this is a fantastic campground. This is Petersburg Campground. It's an Army Corps of Engineer park. These sites are huge. I mean,
And when we say these sites are huge, we have been in campgrounds, entire campgrounds,
that fit in our site.
that would fit in this site that is our current site at this one. And they've got 96 sites. All of them are gigantic. So even if you've got rowdy neighbors, you can barely tell you're nearby. It's just, this is probably some of the nicest sites of any campground in all of our 13 years, because almost all of them are waterfront, and
Yep,
they're
yep.
all flat and tons of space. Anyway, I could rave. This campground's amazing.
Yes, we're loving it. Actually, it was recommended to us by someone on Facebook and our Facebook page. They came here for their evacuation from Dorian and said it was the best campground they'd ever been to, and it's definitely up there for us.
Yes.
This is just outside Augusta, Georgia, but absolutely put it on your list if you're an RVer. It's fantastic.
Okay, scrolling down. So, Master, what computer you use for multi-monitor setup? It's this one right here, which is a MacBook Pro, and just lots of stuff hooked up via the USB ports, the Thunderbolt ports. I can drive a lot of screens, and one of the multi-monitors is just a big monitor in in portrait mode. So I basically have two screens stacked on top of each other inside one.
So Kevin has asked the impossible question. If you had to choose one full-time, would it be boat or the bus? Which life is cheaper?
Cheaper, oh,
Those are two entirely different questions. And I think having two is going to be the right choice for us long term, especially if we continue to pursue the loop at our slow pace. Because we're going to eventually get places in winter where it's not going to be cruising a season. And things apparently get this ice stuff and snow stuff. I'm not familiar with it, but I've heard about it. And apparently we're not going to want to be in it in the boat, and we're going to want to move back to the bus or the van. I can see going down to two vessels. I can't see going back to one anytime soon.
No, well, and also particularly with the boat. I mean, even with the bus, we had the bus and we had our tow vehicle. It's really nice to have two things, and loving the whole idea of like when one house is having projects done, you have someplace else to sleep, and that has been really wonderful. And I'm looking forward. Like I was kind of dreading going back to tackle bus projects when we couldn't live in the bus and it's in the storage unit, and we'd have to deal with all the logistics. Now it's like, okay, we've got a van to live in. We can get the bus. We don't have nearly as many logistics to worry about getting the bus back to livable. And when we're dealing with the boat's in the hard. Oh, we've got a van to live in. It's so nice to have this extra bedroom.
Right, but how will it be having
Right.
three vessels to constantly shuffle and move back and forth? And we love having the van as a daily driver off the boat, and it'll be a daily driver off the bus as well. So we'll see if the balance works out for us or not. It's all theory right now. I do know that the process of moving off of one to another is
Gotten pretty easy.
you enjoyed the chaos. I don't. So
No,
yeah,
but I think as we're getting the systems, the less duplication, it's just grab a bag. Our goal is to get it to just grab a bag.
yeah. So hopefully, so we've not actually gone through the process too much. So we'll see how
Mm-hmm.
it goes. And the other question was which life is cheaper. I think without a doubt, RVing life is probably going to be cheaper for most than boating. But there are people who do boating very cheaply, just not the way we're doing it.
Yes. Yeah.
We don't make decisions based on what's cheaper. We make decisions based on what brings us the most joy.
Right. And we are budget conscious, but not budget driven.
I'm not even sure if we're considered budget conscious most days.
We do our homework. I mean,
We do. I mean, I'm not going to just go buy, product. If I'm looking at A and B, I'm not going to go buy product B just because it's more money. But we make the decision on what is the right thing for us, and we're fortunate at this stage in our life that we're still income earning and we have income to cover and make the choices that are right for us at this time.
Yes, we do.
Let's see.
Got a question here. Have we had any issues with the length of the Travado? Actually, none. We were initially, when we started hunting, we had ruled out the Travado because it's over 20 feet. It's just 21. It's only a foot, but 20 is like a normal parking spot. But that foot is enough within the fudge factor that we've had zero issues parking, even going out to restaurants and stuff. We maybe not going to squeeze into the compact car spots up front, but we've never so far had any issues with the Travado.
So questions now, off the grid, do you have solar on the van? So the van right now is not suitable for off grid. The generator does not work. The previous owner had run it all of 2 hours over 3 years. And we tried to start it a couple weeks ago and it would not start. We need to have it redone. It's probably about $1,000 job.
Yeah, 600 to 1,000. We need to go get the generator serviced so that we can have power off grid. The Travado came standard with 100 watts of solar.
Which doesn't do anything.
It's basically a trickle charge. So yeah, we are, but and actually we are having issues with the relay that charges off of while driving. So we are pole to pole right now, which is not our preferred style, but also we're still in summer. I'm not sure it's technically summer anymore, but it's still friggin' hot. So we want to be pole to pole just for the air conditioning nature of it, and hopefully we'll get some more energy upgrades handled.
Right.
And
Or we'll just go buy a brand new Travado that has all the upgrades that we already want. So that's the
Yes.
other contemplation.
We're less. All the people who've got the new 2020 Travado
We got that with the lithium
batteries.
system. Like, okay, yeah, I want that. I want that. Yeah,
so
that's
nice.
annoying on this one. Oh, they upgraded on that one. Okay.
Yes, because we're loving the Travado so much. We're also now really feeling all the things that they have upgraded in the
Last 3 years.
last 3 or 4 years.
Yes. Okay.
Okay, that was this guy, right?
How easy is it to prep meals in the van? We're
It's
definitely
like
have to
a
think
dance.
differently. I'm used to having
Blake. Hey, Blake.
I'm used to having an induction cooktop.
Convection.
Induction cooktop. I'm used to having a convection oven. Oh, you're almost out of battery.
We're burning power like crazy here. So this might not go too much longer
'Cause
unless
he's
I go
almost-
grab an extension cord.
Yeah, so we'll wrap it up here soon. So yeah, cooking is different in there. We have to think differently about things that are quick and easy to heat up. That can either be microwaved, can be done on the grill. We're loving our Coleman grill. I don't know if you can see that in the shot over there. I think, yeah, it's over there.
That grill is amazing. And
Loving
it heats
little
up
grill. So we're thinking more
fast.
grillables. We're thinking things that can be quickly done on the propane stovetop, which I hate cooking on propane. It's awful. I miss my induction. So cooking's different, but it's doable. And it's definitely, in boats, our friends, Captain Chris and Elise, they say you measure the kitchen by how many butts can fit inside of it. You have a 1-butt kitchen or a 2-butt kitchen. Our kitchen on the boat is a 2-butt kitchen. The kitchen on the Travado is a half-butt kitchen.
Yes, it's a constant dance. We're getting better at it, but yeah, and you don't have any space to let dishes sit for long. You don't have any space to leave things out. You're always have to take things out, put them away, take things out, wash them, and all that. But we're getting used to it.
Okay. Question from Steve: is the van towable? And no, it is not.
No,
So,
I don't think it even technically is towable, but it's not something that.
No, and our bus is not capable of towing something this heavy either. So, no, we did not look for something towable. That's what led us to looking for a van. Is once we realized that once we get the bus out to Arizona, We're going to be maybe doing 500 miles in a season on it as we tool around the desert Southwest for a winter, maybe 1,000 if it's a really big winter. And that's perfectly fine to do with something that we hopscotch or caravan with it. So that's kind of what led us down the path to looking at doing a conversion van and getting the upgrade of having a comfortable second house.
Let's get a few more questions and then wrap this up because
Sabina and Eckert want to know, did we bring the paddleboard? And no, it just, we can't fit it in at this point. We don't have, maybe if we had like a storage pod on the top or something like that.
Even the inflatable paddleboard is big. That is a big case. We will rent them, actually, I imagine, in places that we can enjoy them because we love paddleboarding.
Yeah.
But that'll be a treat on the boat. And we have the inflatable kayak is on the bus. And, the van does not have that kind of storage.
Yep. George would like to know, why did we pick Benson, Arizona? And it was because of the Escapee Saguaro Co-op Park. It's very affordable to get in and own a lifetime lease to it, and you just pay the maintenance fees each year on it. We have a little casita on it, and of the Escapee Co-op parks, they're one of the few that allow you to buy in as a resident if you're under 55. Right. It is technically a 55 plus up park, but they are willing to go up. You can keep your 55 plus designation
status,
if at least you can have up to 20% of your residents being under 55, and they're willing to do the documentation to prove that. So they do welcome those of us that are not yet 55.
Yes. And it's a beautiful park. It's a beautiful terrace, so every spot has great panoramic mountain views. So we figure that's a great home base. It's a great place to park the bus, and
it's on the eastern side of Arizona, so it's easier for us to get to. And we know that we love the desert Southwest, and that's going to be where we want to roam around in the winter. So we wanted the bus positioned.
Yep. And at least until the Escapers Park happens someday, then that'll be our more spiritual home. But we like the Escapees at Benson quite a bit.
Yes. Jim said, "Is the bus parked where you permanently moor the boat?" We do not permanently moor the boat. The boat will be mobile, so every season it will be stored somewhere differently. We actually cruise in it. We're generally going to do the Great Loop. We don't have a home port for the boat, so it will constantly be on the move. And each season that we store will be very different. And the bus is, like as we just said, will be positioned out in Arizona, which is where we want to spend our winters. And the van will move between them.
Yes. So we are looking forward to the next hops ahead. This is going to be a really fun. It's been so fun to get back on the road.
It really is. So yeah, if we're coming your way, drop us an email.
Bring that map back up again.
Yep, and let us know, especially if you have van parking.
Yes, relatively flat, and with the 15 amp outlet, and particularly until we get the generator or more electrical systems working.
Yeah, let us know if we have time. We'd love to stop in and meet you.
And but just time frame, we'll be in Texas by October. So this is going to be the first part of this trip is going to be pretty quick. But
Yep. We're gonna by the end of this month we'll be in St. Louis. Then we'll probably be down to Austin sometime in mid-October, and then probably in the Austin, Texas central area until. Well, we just committed to go into the RV Entrepreneur meetup in mid-November. So we'll probably be leaving Central Texas in mid-November. Yeah, that's the current plan. All right, so we are going to, his battery is about to go out on the laptop, so thank you for joining in. We do have a blog post up if you've missed anything that goes along with this. It just went up on the Technomadia blog as well, with the map and everything else. But we'll check in when we can, and we are so backlogged on travelog content, and the last month has been crazy. I just haven't had much time for much extra.
I'll sleep a lot easier once hurricane season is over this time again, too.
I'm already going to sleep better just knowing the decision has been made.
Yes.
That's always been the fears, like, the hurricane comes up, what are you going to do now?
Okay, now for those who might have missed the little video, watch for this rainbow as we transition here.
Yes. Okay. And as always, if you would like to say thank you, we have a leave a tip jar at the bottom of every page of technomadia.com. We love the virtual wine and virtual dining out and kiki treats.
And actually, we toasted our final night on the boat with real wine sent to us by one of our watchers. And so, we love that. We really appreciate it. It makes us feel connected to you guys. So, see you guys. Here's our...